You're listening to The Startup with Monique Lore, only on LA Talk Radio.
How's it going, Los Angeles? This is The Startup with Monique Lore. I'm Monique Lore. We finally made it to the new home office. Here we are. We'll be getting some cool signage here soon, but I wanted to just welcome you guys back to our channel and thank you so much for tuning in. I want to say just a very heartfelt special thanks to Sam. Sam, thank you so much. I always thank him, guys, but he really is in my corner and he really supports free media. And I just want to point out, guys, that we are a free media channel. We won't be intimidated. We are going to keep streaming content that makes sense here, that supports entrepreneurs and telling the truth. So, things have been happening behind the scenes that I can't share with you guys, but I want you to know that when you come here, you can tell the truth. And, that's what we pride ourselves in. So thank you, Sam, so much for supporting me in the things behind the scenes and helping entrepreneurs and people just get to the bottom of what they need. Also want to thank my sponsors, Michael Solberg Family Wines. Thank you, Leah Solberg, for your continued support. She's one of my best friends and wine partner, as well as a sponsor for the channel. Thank you so much to Shane Hyman over at Next Level Global Solutions. He's awesome. He's a very good person. He's got some great things. He'll have the whole show next week. So tune in for that. It's going to be exciting. Also, I want to thank La Casa del Camino, Felton Calhoun. Thank you so much for your sponsorship and support. And we're right here in Laguna Beach, right in between Los Angeles and San Diego. So for your next staycation, consider staying at La Casa del Camino, and they're famous for their rooftop lounge. All right, guys, without further ado, I would like to introduce our first guest, Shari with Persnickety Box. Ta-da! Shari, welcome to the Startup. How are you?
I'm so great. Thank you so much for having me. This is so much fun.
Oh my gosh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for letting us tap in on your Sunday afternoon and sharing it with us. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us exactly what Persnickety Box is?
For sure. I mean, this is such a great platform. I have learned everything I know from other entrepreneurs. Everything. I didn't go to college to learn about how to start a business. And so everything on this talk show, it's so valuable. And I hope people realize that. I was a stay-at-home mom of 3 little boys, 15, 20 years ago. And I've always loved photos and storytelling. And as a young mom, I wanted to have these photo books and photo albums for my kids, like my mother had for me. And so I ask you, Monique, where do you have baby pictures of yourself?
I have a few. I have a really messed up story about that, but let's keep it real on the startup. We keep it real here. In my startup early days, I had a storage unit, and you know how that goes sometimes. You're hustling to get the money, and I lost a storage unit with a lot of my photos, but some of them have been making their way back to me. The universe is really interesting through friends and such and family, but I have this one that stands out. Who is it called? It's your first school book, and it's your golden school years, and it's beautiful. And I found it on Amazon, and I was able to buy it back. So I'm rebuilding. Yeah, rebuilding. Yeah,
I love that. Hey, that's a story of itself, right?
Yeah.
And I just feel in this day and age, I mean, I can go on and on, but yeah, photos are important to me. And as an adult now, I feel like they're so healing when we think of our childhood too, because we all kind of have this narrative or story about our childhoods. I feel like, some people want to blame their childhood for X, Y, or Z, or, for me personally, I have major daddy issues. And so if I look back at my young photos with my dad, I'm like, maybe he wasn't that bad. Maybe I need to change that narrative. It really, these photos of childhood really help. I mean, there's statistically so much mental help that goes into these photos of kids. And when kids see pictures of themselves on the walls at home or anywhere, it evokes that emotion, right? And so they feel, wanted, appreciated, loved, and so to me, photos and stories are just everything. It's our legacy. But go backwards. I don't know, let's see, 17 years. And I was just I had 3 little boys, and I didn't, I live in Utah, and I didn't have a craft room like all the other moms where I could just have stuff laying all over. And no, I had to take everything out, glue pictures to books. And it was just really hard to keep up, right? Keep up with these baby books or scrapbooks for my babies. And I saw a lady's book one day, and she had done it all on a computer. So digital scrapbooking was a thing. And she showed me her baby book, and it was all done in Photoshop. And I'm like, okay, I mean, this is going to age me because we didn't have Photoshop in high school. I graduated in 1993. So
yeah, we're around the same age. Yeah.
Like, you did that on a computer? Like, that seems so much less messy, and I can't keep up with these baby books. And so I took a Photoshop class. I learned Photoshop, and I started printing these 12 by 12 scrapbook prints for my kids. Right. Well, then I realized that the only place that really printed these 12 by 12 digital scrapbook pages was Costco. And then there were a few pro labs in my neighborhood where I live in Utah. And so when I did my printing at a pro lab, it was like night and day quality. I'm like, I don't even know why the colors pop, the borders aren't cut off. And then I would go to the Costco, which was much cheaper, and it was just not the same. And I'm like, I'm spending hours now on my digital scrapbook pages. So how can, we create a solution for this problem? And then I realized that there were a lot of women out there that were doing this besides just the moms in Utah. So, I mean, I can go on and on about this story about all the don'ts in business, but I created a business. I went to the local camera store here, and the place that had the pro lab. And I said, look, there are a million women that want to have these 12 by 12 prints, but we can't pay $12 a page, a print. Right. So is there a way, let's find a way to make these cheaper than Costco and better quality. And I promise you, I will blow it up. Wow. And so we did. And I worked really hard for about a year, and I didn't realize that handshakes in business really don't work. So that was my first mistake, is when money starts coming in, people start, making different decisions. And so handshakes, unfortunately, are not the way to go. So I left.
Yeah. May I pause you just there for a moment, because I'm loving this. I just had a conversation with someone, and I agree with you. In our hearts, we want to believe in the handshake. We have to follow that up with some type of electronic paper trail, and that'll save you a lot of time and heartache.
Absolutely. Absolutely. See, and I was just this naive little trust everybody person. Yeah. So then I left and I went and started. I'm like, that's it. I have created all these relationships with women. I've started this business. I'm not going to quit. Found another partner and jumped the gun then, Monique. And I created a 50-50 partnership and created an LLC correctly. However, I didn't realize that a 50-50 business partnership was now a marriage, but we weren't in love.
I love that. I mean, I hate that happened, but I love that you realized. Learn from Shari, everybody.
Learn the hard way, guys. I mean, it works for some people, but it just didn't work for me. I wanted to build and grow, and I woke up every day so excited to work, so excited to build. And I feel like in our short lives that we have on this earth, like, it is so important to stay authentic and really keep going. I think starting a business, it's never easy. And so as long as that passion is still there, just keep pushing. And, I launched in 2009 when we had, the market crashed and businesses were closing. And it actually was a great time because I was able to buy up used equipment and used machines. And, but that 50-50 partner only lasted 8 months.
Wow. So got a little divorce there, huh?
Yep.
But it's interesting that you lead with your heart, and you're leading, and that passion has kept you in business now, because they say 10 years, you don't see businesses last that long, and you're there. And I love that you are excited about. That's the key, guys. When you are excited, when you don't want to sleep, I mean, we need to sleep, but I need to tell myself that. But when you're excited to get up, that is the call. Get into that. I mean, speak to that. How did you balance that passion and managing your family and your health and everything else?
Oh, Monique, don't even get me started.
Right.
Like hindsight, and because I ended up getting a divorce. In hindsight,
yeah, 2 of them. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I was my eyes were on the ball, and I think as being a mother too, it's really, when you feel that calling and you see this potential in yourself, it's really hard to and I balanced everything. I didn't have a nanny. I took my 3-year-old to work with me. Drop the other kids off at school, and then I'd work, and then I'd put them to bed, and then I'd build websites at night, and and then little did I know, because I didn't know how to communicate, that my husband was feeling a little lonely over here, and it's a lot pulling at you. So communication is so important. But, but when you feel that passion inside of you and you just are so excited to do it, I feel like it's also unfair that we don't allow ourselves to do that too, because we're moms, right?
Yeah. I love that you speak on that. I am a proponent and advocate for people just doing what feels good for them. And it is tricky as a single person out here, and it's a mess. So it's Shari, it's not, the grass isn't greener, but I guess that you're here. Maybe it's greener for you, but being an outgoing, assertive, I won't use aggressive, I'll use assertive, because sometimes people use that, but going for it, just going for what going for your inner being's calling. Sometimes your partner, if that's not the right partner, it's going to be a pass, and that's okay. I think that we need to give room for our female entrepreneurs, males too, that's okay.
Oh, I've learned more in the last 10 years than I have my entire 48 years of life. Like the pain and the hardships are such great teachers to know what you want, what you don't want. But also, like it's okay to put ourselves first. I mean, I live in Utah where women have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 kids, and we are kind of programmed to be like, we are stay-at-home moms and we do this and that, and that's great. And I had a great mom, but it's okay that we can also work.
That's right.
So that mom guilt, is really hard for women. And
yeah, I would imagine. I'm not a mom yet, knock on, is this wood? But I believe that, when you're living your truth, your children will feel that, right? Like when you're running around doing a job that you don't love, yes, you got to put food on the table and provide, but mom's happy right now, and she's creating happiness for other people. So getting back to go ahead. Yeah.
No, so fulfilling, right? And as moms, sometimes, changing diapers all day isn't super fulfilling. So, yeah, I kept working, and I bought out my business partner, and I just kept grinding every day, had no idea what I was doing. I had these big machines because we're actually printing everything. So it's kind of like Persnickety Prints is kind of like a boutique Shutterfly. So it's kind of, it's Christmas cards, it's, photographic prints, but I had to have the website and that component because people would order online and then we would ship everywhere. And so the whole operations and systems in place. And I learned, and I was debt free. I put everything on a credit card to start and paid it off and just kept going. But I never wanted anybody to own me. So
this is inspirational, guys, for moms, dads, if you're not a mom and dad, if you're just somebody that wants to get after it, take a page out of Shari's Persnickety box book. And it's the holidays. I don't know. It's coming up, right? Yeah. So, sorry to cut you off real quick, just before we plug you. I want to go back to the dad issue, right? Because I love the healing story of the photos. I was thinking about what that memory book for me was. It was called Those Wonderful School Years. And it had each grade, and you wrote down your pet and your favorite subject and your grade, and it had your photo in it. And I found it, and it was by Norman Rockwell. And something about Norman Rockwell just gives me that childhood, warm hug. And so when you're doing these things as an entrepreneur and you're digging deep, because you really have to go to those darker places and heal those things a little bit in real time, right? Because you're asking people to believe in you, and you're asking for money. It's energy, right? So healing those childhood things directly relates to you being successful in business, would you say? Or how have you found that?
Yeah, I feel like the healing and that kind of work, I mean, that's a whole nother level of time commitment. And I think it's a constant for us. But to become successful, yeah, but I feel like we can change, I guess to answer your question's more of, is that healing work reflective in your business? Is that?
Yeah, but answer it how you will. I mean.
Yeah, I feel like, for the good and the bad, like I would see my father homeless on the streets, and I'm like, I never want to be that. I never want to be there. And I wasn't the kid that had the trust fund. I couldn't, if I failed, I couldn't go home to mom or dad. I didn't have anywhere to go. Right. And so it's like, yeah, I need to heal that and work on that. But also like that made me stronger and pushed me harder because there wasn't another option.
That's right.
And then when divorce comes, just for those of you that may think that if you're a woman and you get a divorce, you just get the luxury of child support and alimony. That's not the case when you have
Keeping it real on the startup with Shari, guys.
I will be real all day long, because when you have a job or are a working woman and you are capable of working, that actually your spouse does not have to pay anything. So I got $0 of child support, $0 of alimony, even though I stayed home for 15 years, but that's not how it works here in Utah. And so then I got to see the other side of being a single parent, having to provide at least 50% providing. And then my heart almost went out to those hardworking men out there who bring a paycheck home and the wife, ends up spending their whole paycheck. I'm like, this would be really hard to go to work all day and come home and not have a penny to my name as well. So I got to see both sides of the hardworking mom juggling everything, and then the hardworking man trying to make ends meet.
Right. Beautiful, beautiful perspective, and a conversation we have to return to, because there's so many ways you can look at this. But I think the takeaway here is just to get after it and put your big girl pants on and grind it out and follow your passion. Shari, where can people order these beautiful packages? I know the holidays are coming. These are great for the holidays, or just going back to school or anytime, right?
Yeah. So something that spun out of Persnickety Prints was Persnickety Box. And so if you go to persnicketybox.com, I have created an app. As I've mentioned before, I am big on solving problems. And over the past 15 years, now we are all photographers with this device in our pocket, right? With our phone. And so I have created a solution, especially for young moms or people that print their photos and want to have those memories alive for their kids. But we have, all of you that are listening or watching, like, go look at your camera roll. How many pictures do you have on your camera roll?
Too many.
Are you saving them? Are you backing them up? And so I created an app called Persnickety Box. And it's, for those of us that have been on a dating app, here's the thing. The dating apps are fun. But I was like, how can I create fun in this photo printing app? So you swipe into the box like Tinder. So you swipe left and right, and then you swipe down into the box. So you don't have to understand technology in order to print your photos. You don't have to plug anything in, airdrop, all this confusing thing. You literally just swipe into the box, and a photo box arrives at your doorstep after you fill it up with 30 of your favorite photos. And these are real silver halide photos.
Wow.
And with this story box, you can write who, what, when, where on the sides.
What?
We have albums for you. We have all the things. So download the Persnickety Box app. I'll give you guys a code. It's what you can get 50% off your first box, which it's $19.99. So it's $10. That includes shipping. And use code PRINCE.
Beautiful. This is the startup exclusive, guys. You're going to get 50% off of what Shari's created in her basement, if you will, in her home, from her heart, from her mind. Yep. This is on time for me because I just moved in, as you know, the new home studio, and I'm unboxing things. And this would be so great to clear your digital clutter of memories.
Yep. Put them all in one place. Keep them organized. Use them as needed.
Shari, you have been a gift to us. This is awesome. I'm downloading that app today, girlfriend. Give us that code again, one more time.
That code is PRINCE, plural. And you're going to go download the app in the App Store or on Google Play as well. It's in this Persnickety Box.
Great. What's the price point? Give us a range, will you?
$19.99 a month.
No matter what, if you don't if once
cancel
this
anytime. Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay, guys, you got to get on that promo code and save 50%. You can't lose with that. And these are invaluable. Thank you for being here. Give us your socials one more time so we can follow you.
Persnickety Box. Follow me at Persnickety Box. Yep. All one word. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. We're all there.
Shari, come back again. Let's go deeper sometime.
Go deep, Monica.
I love it.
I was going to try to make a rhyme. Let's go deep.
All right. Well, we'll come up with one. Thank you so much for being here, Shari, and continued success. I know I'm going to see you everywhere, girlfriend.
Thank you so much, Monique.
You're welcome.
All right.
Yes. Go, girl. Okay. All right, you guys, that was Shari from Persnickety Box. And I'm so excited to see someone take off, an idea like that. She learned some things in the beginning, but Wow, I'm very impressed. No excuses, right? All right. Okay. Thanks, Sam. So, guys, I want to also just kind of dive into some of the stuff, the headlines, real quick. This isn't a headline show, but things that we cannot ignore here at the startup. Cause and effect. Everything. Affects everything, right? So, I want to give a special, heartfelt shout out to the people of Israel. I was in Tel Aviv. Sam is from that area, and he was telling me where to go when I went for the pandemic film. I went, I believe, a year and a half ago, whenever the Super Bowl was in LA. That's when I was there. I was on the tarmac, leaving Turkey and heading to Tel Aviv. And I was blown away by the warmth, the smiles, the love, the kindness. I felt very welcome in Israel. It was my first time there, my first time in that region. And although I do not know the ins and outs of what's going on, I want to understand, so I won't give an opinion because I want to be respectful. I just want to say that there's love and support, and it breaks my heart to see innocent people being killed in Israel and Palestine. I don't know everything about it, but I do know that when we see an evil happening, sitting by, we're complicit. So without me speaking up, I want you guys to know that my heart is with you, and I wish I was bigger in the world to affect change, but I have a voice, and I stand with people who are being harmed at this time. So I just wanted to put that out. What else? Let's talk about the Emmy Gifting Suite, guys. It's coming up in January. We have a few slots left, not many. If you're not familiar with the Gifting Suite, it is a very unique marketing opportunity. You're in a room with about 100 celebrities, media, and press. You are there to advertise your startup, your business. If it's not a startup, it can be mid-size, it could be anything. But we are looking for brands, unique brands that would like or command celebrity and media attention. So that will be in Beverly Hills, January 12th. And if you're interested, you can email me at the email will be capaquariusmedia@gmail.com. That's CAPAQUARIUS media@gmail.com. And if you're not following us, please follow us at LA Talk Radio, at The Startup, and Monique Lore Stinson. All right. So it's at The Startup with Monique Lore or LA Talk Radio, and you'll find us. We're on all the platforms. And shout out to everyone watching from around the world. We really appreciate your support. We're really working hard to grow this channel. And yes, okay, so in other news, we have the Drag Brunch coming up in 14 days at La Casa del Camino. Get your tickets on Eventbrite. Amber Cream will be performing. If that's your type of entertainment, we're here to provide that. It's a lot of fun. We are going to do a Halloween contest, so a costume contest. So my costume is going to be amazing. I think I've never done this one before. As if you know me, I love Halloween. I didn't get to do Halloween when I was a kid, so I'm doing it now as an adult, and as shameless as that is. But yeah, we're really excited to be back there, and shout out to everybody helping us out with that. All right. Guys, we will have an update on the premiere of the Pandemic Project documentary. I think I mentioned it in the other show. We are premiering that before the end of the year. We will tell you where you can see it. We're going to do an online streaming and an in-person streaming. An in-person viewing. So stick around. We're going to have that announcement soon. So this will be the first film of 3. We have finished the first film. We're just tightening things up and cleaning things up. And then the second film is still in post-production. And the third film, The Endemic Project, is almost done shooting. I will be going to South Africa hopefully next month to finish that and just round that out. So really excited to bring this collection to you. And, don't worry, guys, it's got no political leaning at all. We were just showing the stories of startups, everyday people from around America in the first film, and how we navigated this once in 100 year event. And I know people are tired of talking about it. And we hope to bring a little bit of a lighter side to it. Some of it is heavy, but it's from you, from real people. So that's coming up. That announcement will be coming up real soon. What else? We've got so many pans in the fire, so many things going on. If you are wanting to be on the show, we would love to have you. If you are a startup brand, if you are a medium-sized brand, if you're scaling up, we would love to hear your startup story. How did you start? Who helped you? How did you get support? How did you gain support in your business ventures? Like Shari, not everything comes easy. Some people, even if you had it easy, how did you do it? Maybe you had all the means, but maybe you didn't know how to do it. Or maybe it was easy across the board. We don't discriminate on your story. We think it's great. It adds to the community of startups. It adds to the community of entrepreneurship. And just keeping it real. I remember reflecting back when we started this show during the pandemic, I had to often go to Starbucks. If you go back into our archives, you'll see me broadcasting from my car. I knew that Starbucks had a strong internet connection. Where I was staying didn't, and I wanted to bring it to you live and direct, and sometimes it got rough. But I'm hoping to be able to reflect back on that and share you on some of the higher times, the better times, and we're moving closer to that. So here at the Startup, we'd love to have you. Send us an email. You can email us at capricornsmedia@gmail.com or the Startup with Monique Lore @gmail.com, and we'll get back to you. All right. So we're waiting for our next guest. I also want to share with you guys that we are going to be doing the Grammys event in February as well. It'll be in Beverly Hills. So if you're a music lover or have a brand that might coincide with that, we would love to hear from you there. I think, it's interesting because we were able to diversify the room. I mean, we've got brands from wine to CBD, snacks, actors, singers, hair care products, skincare products, energy drinks. We've been, discovering all kinds of brands to be there. So I'm really excited to bring those two opportunities for you guys. Shout out to everybody at the beach today in Laguna, the AVP Laguna Beach volleyball session. It was really nice to get outside, get some fresh air. So congratulations to the winners and congratulations to everybody that was competing. Shout out to Richard. He puts that on every year, and it was really nice to just get out and see some athletes doing what they love. All right, you guys. Let's see. Also, let's see what else we could cover. We've got some other things that are going on. Oh, next week when we have Shane here, Shane will be here from Next Level Global Solutions. He's going to walk us through how to enroll on his platform. So this is going to be kind of exciting. I'm not very versed in investments. I'm learning about it in school. I've been putting myself through some of that, right? I really want to expand my knowledge there. Shane has an opportunity to gain equity in his company by just doing some work online. And he's kind of reimagining how one would enter that sector. So I'm excited to have him. He's going to do a tutorial. He's going to share his screen. We're going to sign up. I've already signed up, but we're going to actually do the platform, create our profile on the platform and walk through the steps on how to gain equity. And so it's called Next Level Global Solutions. So Shane Hyman will be here next week. So get your laptop out, get ready to learn something really cool. I think he's also working towards an IPO for this company. I'm really impressed. He's built out the infrastructure. He's built out the website. He's built out everything from scratch. So if you're a techie person, if you're an investment person, Shane is the one you want to tune into next week. And that'll be 4:00 p.m. Pacific time. And he's going to have the whole show. So we'll be covering that. And I'm excited. So we have a couple more people coming in the chat here soon. Also, guys, if you are looking for that perfect holiday gift, go on to www.michaelsolbergfamilywines.com and check out what they've got. 4 varietals: Rosé, Cab Sauv, what else do we? Chardonnay, and Merlot. Okay, and they like to say at Michael Solberg Family Wines that it pairs well with your wine glass, and I believe that. You don't really need to know much about wine to enjoy them. They've been around since the 80s. Leah Solberg is spearheading that. Her father, Michael Solberg, founded it. And in his absence, as he passed away, she is now the CEO of Michael Solberg Family Wines. So check them out if you're looking for that perfect gift. It could be for the holidays. It could be for a birthday, graduation. No graduations right now. New Year's celebration. But check them out. They're really quality wines. And if you want to get a custom label done, they will do that for the holidays. So get into it, guys. www.michaelsolbergfamilywines. All right. Oh, I forgot. We have Casa LA. Not Casa del Camino. It's two different things. Casa LA is doing a wine and sign event in November. We'll be there pouring up Michael Solberg Family Wines and other wines. So come and support them. They are a nonprofit. They help court-appointed youth in Los Angeles County. So what does that mean? It means children that don't have a home, a traditional home, who are in the court system. These funds help them get education, healthcare, placement. It helps them feel settled in the world, okay? So we are linking up to donate wine and get people buzzed and enjoy their wine while they bid on art for the auction, okay? And that auction money goes to the children. So we're excited to be there. I think we posted on our wine page, but if you're not following that page, it's at The Wine Caterers, all right? And you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, X. I think you can find us everywhere. We're on Facebook as well. I have to update everything. But if you want to join us at Casa LA Wine and Art, the event there, you can get in touch with us here, and we would love to see what we can do, see if we can partner. What else? There's so many things brewing. I do have a new event that I want to talk to you about that a dear friend and an associate that I work with has sent me. And this is to help some children as well. So, because, this time of year, guys, it's charity and it's donations. And a lot of times people request wine, which is fine with me. If we have it, we'll give it. And, it's good karma anyway. It's good business karma. It's good energy karma. But this is a new foundation that I've never worked with. But this person I've worked with for many, many years. And she does amazing work. It's going to be on November 12th. It's called Jacaranda, the Jacaranda Foundation. And let's go into it a little bit. Let's see exactly what it does. And I'll just read from their page. We're looking for donations for it. And the Jacaranda Foundation will be helping some African children. And I'm interested in learning more about it as well. And yes, it will be in November. All right, guys. Here's the Jacaranda. So actually, it's a school for orphans. So get with us and learn more about the Jacaranda Foundation. It'll be on November 12th. It's going to be in LA. It's going to be a great event. All right, guys. Now I have my next guest. We've got Stephanie. Stephanie, how's it going? Welcome to the startup.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Happy to be here. I'm a big fan of your show.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Well, beautiful. And why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell people what you've got going?
All right. Well, my name is Stephanie Latner, and I am the founder and CEO of We Vibin Inc., which is a brain health and wellness company based out of Pittsburgh, PA. So we've developed clinically validated technology that improves cognitive performance for adults. So specifically, that means improving visual and auditory attention for longer durations, decreasing impulsivity or negative reactivity, decreasing frustration when you're stressed, and improving reaction times in terms of consistency.
Wow, this is kind of interesting how timely this is, because as I've been very vocal, I've just went through a really stressful move of this is the new home office. We're still getting it together, but I had to give myself a little mental time out and give myself permission to not be okay for a minute. And I really love that you're diving into this. It seems cliche to talk about mental health. Why do you think that is, Stephanie?
There's a lot of that's an interesting question. There's a lot of buzzword. I think unfortunately with all things, everything gets reduced to a sound bite and then gets lumped into a bucket. And so, and that really waters down all of the things that people are feeling and going through when we do that. But it's just, I think somewhat human nature, and the way we get the word out is by consolidating it down to simple messages. But then, of course, when you're affected by it, you don't want to be the one that gets thrown into a bucket of everybody else, because what you're going through is unique.
Yes. Let's talk about this, because I would really love to know your journey as an entrepreneur, CEO, and getting into this avenue of work. How did this become your ministry?
Yeah, well, it started. So I grew up with a sibling that had a number of different things going on with his brain, and they were all severe. And it was really tough on our family. We went through a lot. We didn't, we were growing up, there was not this focus on mental health at all. So when something happened to anybody, it was a bit of a shock. I don't think the medical community was very mature at the time. And so families were left with a lot of unanswered questions and lacking the skills of how to deal with a family member that's struggling. And so, that's just set me down a path of being really frustrated and feeling helpless. So I ended up going to school for bioengineering, electrical engineering first, and then bioengineering.
Wow.
And wanting to study the brain, to just try to absorb as much knowledge as I could about, what the heck is going on, and why is this happening, and what can we do to help him, and then that just set a career path where I focused a lot on the brain.
Wow. So we've got a badass, everybody. I mean, Stephanie, you are, talk about a brain. I mean, you are, you are quite impressive, and your resume just is amazing. What a beautiful way to enter into a profession from the heart to help your sibling. And may we ask, is your sibling doing better, or how are they doing?
No, he's unfortunately passed away, and it's just hard.
I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. And thank you for sharing that with us. And, the impact on the brain and the health, can you share some insights on, if we don't get a handle on it, how it might affect your overall health, or if you want to dive a little deeper on why this is important?
Yeah, I think I'd like to take it from the perspective of, and this is a frustration of mine, but I think I think I'm starting to see some light at the end of the tunnel, where the world might be changing in terms of the research that's being done, and maybe some thought leaders out there that are really, really crystallizing this in a way for all of us to understand it. But, traditionally the brain has been treated as if it's separate from the body, where it operates in isolation. And so you look at all of our mental health treatments, and they are all targeted to the brain, as if the brain has nothing to do with the rest of the body. And that would be like treating somebody with a runny nose by, focusing on the receptors in the nose, or giving them surgery to their nose, versus, finding out what is the origin to the problem. So what's starting to emerge is, again, our brains and bodies are connected. How we metabolize everything, metabolize food, metabolize toxins, metabolize medications, all of that affects our body in general and our brain specifically. So that's really where the trend is going, which excites me, because I think that's the right track.
Yes, I agree with you. I see things oftentimes in my ads. Calm, shout out to Calm. They're not a sponsor yet, but we would love to get some Calm. Meditation. I was at a volleyball game here in Laguna, and there was about 8 people in unison, just doing a meditation on the grass. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of cool. And they were not distracted. It was a loud volleyball game, Stephanie, and they were in the zone, girlfriend. They were not moving. And I said, okay, it's becoming, I think that, not to blame everything on the pandemic, but a lot of us had to sit still, whether we wanted to or not, and really look at our lives, right? And I think there's a shift. Do you think there's a shift since the pandemic?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And you mentioned this on another one of your podcasts, but it's a complicated shift. It affects everybody. Everyone's reacting to it differently. I think there's a lot of uncertainty. People are questioning literally everything. So maybe the world needed this. We needed to be shaken up in some way to start down a different path. But the world is definitely different after COVID.
Oh yeah. And now, I think it's good to let's go ahead and share, if you don't mind, for a few minutes, your origin story. I know that you shared, your other business, your other professional paths, but do you have any advice or tips for anybody that's getting into the health, wellness, brain, in that sector? Any startup tips or things that maybe could help someone that's looking to go in that direction?
Yeah, I would say really start with hardcore science, because there's, in my experience, just my experience, is that there's way too much noise in the marketplace with quick fixes that may or may not be based on really good data. And so understanding the science, and then where you want to take the science or what you want to do with your solution is really critical. It's critical for people's health. It's critical for your company's credibility. But you can't take short steps. Like there can't be like a quick, just a quick solution to something.
Yeah, exactly. Putting a piece of tape over a mask over it. I really love that. I had a conversation, since we're keeping it real on the startup today. We always do. I had a conversation with my doctor recently, and just with the level of stress and moving and the film and just all these things that I've got pans in the fire, I had to have a real heart-to-heart with her. And I was really grateful for her candid, real talk. She's like, you know what, Monique, you can do this, you could do that, but this is what's better for you. And I just went back to the basics, Stephanie. I used to be a runner. I used to run track and hurdles. And I said, you know what, Monique, mental grit and fortitude comes from, you got to get back into the gym. For me, you got to get back in the gym and get your endorphins, get it all going back, and stop sitting here and just grinding away at work. You got to give yourself, you're at the beach, go outside. For me, it was get back to the basics. Yeah. These things come first, and then the emails, the calls, and the stress come later. Or if I have a stressful thing I need to do, I'm doing it while I'm doing my cardio, right? So if I'm with the electronics, it's when I'm giving my body a break.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So where can people find you? Where can they follow up with you? Are you available for consultations? Are you taking new clients? What's your deal, Stephanie?
Yeah, so I'm not a therapist, so we don't do consultations, but you can find us you can learn more about the science behind what we're doing and what we're going to be launching. We have 2 products we're in the process of launching. Nice. Those will hopefully be coming in the very near future. And you can learn more about that on our website at wevibin.co. Nice. And on Instagram, we are WeVibin at WeVibin Inc. And then on X and Facebook, we are at WeVibin USA.
I love that. And maybe you'll come back. Can you give us a little bit of a run up of when you're launching it, or can you give us a little bit more on that? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, 1, I would love to come back and tell you more. And then 2, if it's okay, I'll tell you a little bit about our products that we're launching.
Sure.
So the first is, and I like to use the example of an athlete, because an athlete will if they're optimizing their body performance, they'll take a multi-pronged approach. So they're going to look at nutrition. They're going to look at sleep-wake cycles. You alluded to light intake, like getting enough light. They're going to make sure that their hormones are out of balance, but they're going to also stress their body in the right way. So it's not harmful, but it pushes them. And they also then will track and measure to see what's affecting their performance. So our first product is a software that comes in an app that is a cognitive performance test and a brain training app. Ooh. And it's designed intentionally to stress the brain much in a positive way, much like an athlete would stress their body. So it's building and forming the neural networks needed to improve cognitive performance. But then the power of the app is really testing everything you're doing to see if it moves the needle for you. So if you're doing intermittent fasting or even drinking coffee or doing meditation, the user can test before and after on themselves to see how it affects their brain performance. So that's the first app. And then the second product is an actual therapy device. And it's a headset that is, it's basically a way to exercise sensory neurons, which are tightly connected to the attentional networks. So the user gets immediate effects from it. You only wear it for about 20 to 30 minutes. And not only does it calm you and lower your heart rate a little bit, but it puts you in the zone, as you were mentioning with meditation, but it also exercises those neural networks again that have to do with focus, and it keeps that communication healthy in the brain. So we're super excited about that. We got through clinical trials and the data was very positive.
You know what? I know one thing in this world, Stephanie, when someone is as passionate as you are, coming from what you went through with your sibling, this is going to get done and you're going to help a lot of people. That's one thing I know. And I feel that from you. I would love to sign up and be a tester, guinea pig, whatever you need. Circadian rhythm had been my buzzword. I was traveling around. I don't know if you know, but I was doing 3 documentaries during the pandemic. So I did 20 cities in America in 2020, and I did 40 countries in the last 22 months. And I really stressed my body to the point. And so we have one more trip, but I think that this technology is going to change people and help people so much.
We hope so. Yeah, we hope so.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for being here, and give us your website one more time, please.
Yep. WeVibin, WeVibin.co.
Beautiful, Stephanie. Well, whenever you're out here, we'd love to have you at one of our events. I think we could really benefit from that.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll take you up on that.
All right, Stephanie, be well. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
All right. There's a lot of good stuff going on, guys. Stephanie's got some great technology on the horizon for mental health and overall wellness. And as entrepreneurs, we have to keep ourselves in one piece. As a friend, a colleague, a fellow associate in South Africa, Peter, I'm going to be working with him. He's like, Monique, I need you to show up here in one piece. And I took his advice and took a little, couple weeks down to make sure I'm okay. And you know what? Your body will tell you. All right. Well, I think some of our other guests are outside enjoying the sunshine, and I don't blame them because it's a beautiful Sunday here. So guys, be back here with us next week with Shane Hyman from Next Level Global Solutions. Have your laptops ready. We're going to download all the stuff he's talking about with the finance, equity, and investing. And thank you so much for being here, guys. What else? Let's make sure to just take a time out for ourselves. And, as entrepreneurs, again, really, really pay attention to what our body's telling us. I think Iyanla, when I met her last year around this time, but Iyanla Van Zandt would always say the acronym PAIN, pay attention inward now. So if you've got, as an entrepreneur, we've got to pay attention to what we're doing, because if we shut down, the whole thing shuts down. And I am a person that just go. And your body will tell you, you can't do nothing right now. So don't get to that point. But I'm grateful for friends and family and you guys still being here, still going strong. And again, we are a free speech, free enterprise show. We won't be intimidated. We're going to keep doing what we do. And we want the best. So if you've got something you want to say, or if you're a business and you want to share your thoughts and you feel like you need a place that's safe, we are a neutral place that is safe, that you can come say that respectfully and responsibly, of course. All right. What else? I think I've got one more announcement. I don't know if I can share it yet, but I will. Let me give a shout out to Hope 929, to Uncle Selwyn and Liz. We've got some cool things coming down the pike there. And I will be back with you next week. Until then, be well, be safe. What we started today. See you soon.
You're listening to The Startup with Monique Lore, only on LA Talk Radio.